Hello, welcome back to Lattes and Lore. Today we're diving, today we're diving headfirst, barefoot, and maybe a little underdressed into Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman.
We definitely are barefoot and underdressed.
Absolutely. I was so excited that we had this one coming up in our episodes and everything, but as we dive into it, crawlers, this is your spoiler warning. If you want to experience all the fun things on your own without any spoilers or anything, pause this, save it for later after you have finished the book. I highly also recommend, if you've not ventured into the world of Dungeon Crawler Carl, download the audio. Jeff Hayes is amazing.
Amazing audio. Amazing. It's so good.
So good. Probably one of the best narrators out there for what he does.
Yes.
Because he's so super talented. But
yes,
so good. So we'll diving in. Spoilers are all on the table. We will just be focusing on book one for anyone watching the video. Because Erica has not gone past book one. So we will not be diving into anything else just yet. But future episodes, we will dive further into Dungeon Crawler Carl. But
we are.
Spoiler warning.
It's here. It's ready. We're here with our feet off and our heart-colored boxers. Our heart boxers are on.
Oh my gosh. I've done lost my pink Crocs and we're running through the dungeon. You know, like, so good. What were your first thoughts when you started reading this book?
Holy crap. That was my first thought.
Right? Because, like, the setting of it, because I didn't really know what I was getting into. I just saw, like, lit RPG, kind of apocalyptic vibes. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to read it. I like video games. But it starts off, like, the earth is collapsing. The main character, Carl, was in the Coast Guard. He works a different job. He's in Seattle. He's chasing his cat out. Yeah, he has a cat. And the world collapses. Like, I was laughing out loud the first, like, chapter of this book. And I was not expecting to, like, love it. Because I was like, oh, this will be a nice mental break from a really tough emotional series I had just finished. And I was like, oh, this will be fun. Sucked me in immediately. And I was laughing. I think I immediately texted you, you have to listen to this book.
You did. You did. And you were like, you don't even have to buy it. Like, it's on Kindle Unlimited for our KU listeners. Which is wonderful. We love KU.
Absolutely.
We love it for indie
yes.
authors. We love
it's so good.
Availability. You're like, you don't even have to just go get the audiobook and listen to it right now. So when I'm picturing, like, this gigantor, like, beefcake of a man outside smoking his Marlboros, and it's like pancake, the world just flattens.
I know, like that. It was so funny. He's smoking. His cat jumps out the window and is outside. And I'm like, stupid cat. It's like 20 degrees outside. Of course.
Right.
You know.
And he's like, dang it, cat. Dang it. We love, I think that's the first time we hear Carl's catchphrase. His catchphrase throughout the whole book is, and this is vulgar. It's like, God damn it, donut. The whole book is, God damn it, donut. That's his catchphrase. So that's our first experience with this world that we're just, it's like everything seems normal. Carl and his girlfriend are on the rocks, and then all of a sudden the world is flat and there are aliens. And I was just sitting there with my Kindle like, what the fuck?
I'm listening to it. I'm like, okay. And it's like, he's outside. He grabs his girlfriend's Crocs, throws on a leather jacket, and he's in boxers, like, to try to get the cat out of the tree. The rude neighbor's, like, yelling at him outside, and then the apartment building flattens. It says her head rolled to his feet. I was like, oh, no!
I know.
What is this?
You mean her head rolled to his feet?
And it's like, the apartment building was gone, and all these buildings are now ground level. Like, it was wild. And then it's like, we get introduced to the AI.
And new achievement.
Oh my gosh. The AI just throughout the whole series is its own.
The syndicate into Carl's brain so he can understand aliens.
Yeah. And then it's like, there's these doors opening. You have, welcome to the dungeon crawl. And you're like, what is this?
What?
Yes.
The what? This was my first experience in lit RPG land.
Yes.
And I think this is a really good one to, like, I've not ever read anything else that's lit RPG. But from what I can tell, this is going to be like a really good kind of intro into lit RPG.
I have read a couple others since finishing Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I equally enjoy them.
Which is good.
I will be exploring this genre a lot for the future and everything. But
I love it.
The premise is just wild. So, like, you know, they decide, him and the cat. So he's like carrying Donut. It's cold. He has no choice but to go into the dungeon, because it's like you can try to survive on the surface, but
you're not
what's left? There's nothing. It's not like you know, like there's nothing left essentially. And just like from the start, new achievements. Like you get or I like the one where it's like you entered the dungeon without pants.
Yeah, it's like you entered the dungeon without pants. You entered the dungeon with a cat, because it's truly like a video game. So it's like new achievement, new achievement. New
it's
achievement.
so
you entered
funny.
the dungeon without shoes. Hilarious.
But it was fun because it is very much like when you first start a good video game, you've got nothing. You're like going through your tutorials, and every time you do something, it goes, oh, you learned another move, or whatever is what it reminded me of. But it was so fun to read it.
I was like, this is like because I didn't grow, like, my sister was a video gamer. I was the reader, she video games. So my husband is a huge gamer, so I watch him game sometimes while I read, and it's one of those things that I was like, this is just like starting a video game, and it's so good. And my husband, who loves video games, even listened to a little bit of this in the car because I made him.
Yeah.
And he loved it.
I've tried to convince mine that like this would be something he'd love to listen to, and he's like, no. I'm like, okay, we're going somewhere soon without the kiddos. I'm going to play this in the car. You're going to have to listen to it because you're going to enjoy it. It's going to be great.
And you're going to love it.
But I love how quickly after they get into the dungeon, they get introduced to things you have to kill, as in most video games. There's always something to help you level up and all that. Yeah. And like the like death goblins on the dozer of death or whatever was so funny.
It is literally a walking death trap. Everything you look at is a death. Like, it's like, oh, that's going to kill you. Oh, that's going to kill you. Oh, that's going to kill you. There's a goblin on a steamroller. That's going to kill you. So you have nothing because you're brand new into the dungeon and you have no weapons, no shoes, no pants, and a cat.
Yeah, and you're still trying to figure out what is happening.
Yeah.
You know.
Donut is just meowing like crazy. Meow, meow. Yeah, and I don't know if any of our listeners are cat people. My husband and I, we are cat people. And if you have a cat that wants something and tells you there's literally not anything more annoying in the whole world than the cat, like, I'm surprised I don't have one in here right. Of course, the one time we're talking about the cats,
it's fair.
Macaroni and Noodle aren't in here. You have them crawling all over you, and they're on your head, and they're on your lap, and they're trying to get in your skin, meowing. And can you imagine trying to carry a cat through a dungeon with no pants and no shoes, and there are goblins, and the world just ended? It is chaotic in the best way.
Right, because they even mentions like some of the buildings, they just like pulled them straight through the ground essentially. Yeah. It's like you're on this war-torn street is what I picture. Like buildings are kind of together, kind of crumbly. They end up This is where we get introduced to Mordecai, because they kind of go to the safe room. And I'd forgotten about this when I re-listened it a few days ago, and I was like, oh yeah, Donut just like barged her way into the safe room, and he's like, get her out of here! Yeah. And she's like knocking stuff over, very like regular cat-like.
Still meowing. Donut is still meowing at this point.
Yeah, I did love it, because I wasn't expecting, when she gets the opportunity, she just like eats the pet biscuit and becomes a crawler. So then she can talk and everything. That was so funny.
I was so thrilled when Princess Donut found her voice. And she, in the audiobooks, she is a British short hair with a snout. And she's not just Donut. She's Princess Donut. This is a show cat. And her personality is so... Oh, here's my cats. Of course, they heard me talk about cats. Here they come.
She's very show cat personality. Yes. Like, I am a princess, and you're going to do what I tell you to.
And she actually ends up being, here shortly, like after the game starts, she ends up being a higher level than Carl very quickly early on in the book.
Which is fun, because that's where you almost have to pay a lot of attention if you've not played a lot of video games or haven't played them in a while, because they start throwing out all these stats and everything. And because it took me a second, because it had been a long time since I had played a game where you got to decide what stats you like tried to beef up and which ones you just kind of rolled with it. But it was fun.
This is Prince Macaroni.
So cute. But it was funny because that puts Carl as like Princess Donut's bodyguard, essentially, is how he gets labeled when she becomes a crawler.
Yes.
It's so funny. And like Mordecai can only kind of share a few things. He's like their guild tutorial person going through it and everything. But Carl notes like he's definitely sad, you know, like he's been here a long time, and he has an inkling that he was a previous crawler and all this stuff. You know, we find out a little bit later in the book, yes, he was in the dungeon crawl. I don't remember if it says how many years ago, but he was a crawler at one point. He was a crawler. And he's been serving his, like, servitude out.
Right.
And stuff. It's just, and so they start going back out, trying to figure out how to earn experience, figure out, you know, they get all these funny adventure boxes and loot boxes for different things.
See, if you are watching this is literally what Carl is having to deal with while
the cat trying to keep them alive.
Try to keep them alive. But it's like you get all the boxes, and you can only open the boxes in the tutorial guild, and then when you don't know anything. So Princess Donut starts opening boxes in her sassy way and just starts throwing shit on. She puts on a crown. And I forget exactly what it says, but it's like...
It's the crown of the sepsis whore.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my god, 5 levels down, you now are someone that you either have to kill off everyone else in the line, or they're going to kill you off. And you're just like, what the heck, Donut?
Yeah, because the only way she can get past the certain level is she has to be the last one standing.
She does, and I'm so stressed about it because... I mean, Princess Donut has to make it because...
It makes for a really good read when you get there. That's all I will say.
Oh, God, I'm so stressed about it. I'm so stressed about it.
But it's just so good because you start really getting into the world, and all these funny things are happening. Like, the bosses, you know, Carl gets like his first tattoo from different things, and just like you start going, we eventually hit some other characters that are in it, like the Meadowlark people, which is like a nursing home had a fire drill. Like, the little old people had to go in the dungeon.
Yes, and all their little caretakers are there taking care of them, and I totally understand because I was reading it when they meet Meadowlark, and like Carl is explaining to the people like what it really means, because I don't think that they initially went into the tutorial guild. They just kind of
like part of them had and part of them hadn't. I think like they were trying to. There's like 200 residents they were trying to look out for, which is crazy.
I know, and I'm like, there I am carrying all the little old people down to the. That would be me. It would be me with a wagon or the wheelchair.
As someone who has had to do a fire drill at a nursing home and actually get everybody out, it is not a fun time.
It is not.
Like when I was at that scene, I was like, oh no, complete chaos already. Because let's face it, most of them are aged and they're not very mobile. We're not all firing on all cylinders. We got a lot of problems. You got to get them outside in the middle of the night, and then it's like, oh, so we have no more home to go to. Our options are survive on the surface
or go under.
Or get you down the stairs. I'm like, oh, none of those options sounds like a great time. And you know they're short-staffed. It was 2 nurses and 2 maintenance men. I'm like, that tracks. Right. You know, like that feels right. But seriously.
We know what you really like, and it's not safe staffing.
No, definitely not safe staffing. But wait, just go ahead.
It's so good because then you know, like you find out that it took me a minute to kind of put everything together. That like the game that they're in, the like dungeon crawler, is a series of a TV show, like it's reality TV for these aliens. And it took me a minute to kind of realize all of that. And it's just there's so many levels, and it's so good. And you find out all these things when it first starts out, and you're like, okay, now they're on level 1. You have to make it down to so many levels to survive, and you have to keep going down.
Right, and there's a time limit to find the next stairwells down, because it kind of starts downloading this information to you as you go along. It's like you have this much, many days, many hours to find a stairwell. The time frames get shorter, the stairwells get less the further you go down. I'm like, oh. And this is like all of Earth. You know, it wasn't just the U.S. Like, it was all of Earth. So you're like, holy crap.
I know.
And then, you know, Carl keeps taking note of how quickly the numbers are dwindling.
Yes.
And I'm like, it's, you know, and trying to find another stairwell. Then there's these bosses you have to fight. And everyone who's ever played a game, you walk into a room and it's like it starts playing different music. You're like, oh, crap.
When
it's
you see
boss
the saving
battle.
now, when you see the saving now saving, you're like, crap.
You always know when the game auto saves, you're like, oh, crap. No.
You're like, well, at least we made it to this point, and then you just have to keep spawning back. But in the dungeon crawl, you don't spawn back.
No, but every night there's a show on that goes over the crawl and talks about things, and some of the crawlers can be on it, and there's a social media following for the show. So, like, I pictured kind of in the Hunger Games where the Capitol is watching, and they can send prizes to the participants and everything, because that's kind of the setup here. It says as you go along, people can send you things, and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, essentially, it kind of was very much like the Hunger Games on some
It was. It really was.
It's a fight to the death, but it's just so good, you know. So they fight their bosses. They make it down to level 2. Carl has this kind of conflict where it's like, okay, who all do we ally with? Do I stay with Donut, or do I leave her? Because it's like, he's still like, it's my girlfriend's cat. She doesn't even like me. Turns out Donut does like him.
Donut
and they have
loves Carl.
She does, but there's a sweet exchange after one of the boss fights. And she's like, no, you know, like, I don't want to leave you, like, in all this. And, you know.
It's all a lie. I actually do love you, and I need you to stay, and I can't do this without you. And I'm just like, Donut.
Well, they also have the discussion of, like, what to do with the elderly residents and stuff, too.
Right.
It's like, do we stay with them? And they both agree, let's help them get somewhere safe, and then we'll go do our own thing. I'm like, sweet.
Very good. And then you find out, like, after they make it through the first thing, Carl the whole time is like, when am I getting pants? When am I getting shoes? When am I getting pants? When am I getting shoes?
Yeah.
When am I getting pants?
Well, that's when he gets, like, one of his prize boxes is, like, the fancy heart boxers.
Yeah.
That, like, level up certain things. So it's like, okay, now you're stuck with those.
Yeah.
He gets, and, like, gets other things, and Donut gets the fancy hairbrush. If you brush her like, constitution goes up. And it's just like, okay, all these random things. Excuse me. Sorry. But you start going through it, and the safe rooms are, like, the only place you can safely go to sleep. Most of them have food. We find out they don't all have, like, a restaurant like the first one that Carl and Donut go into.
The first one they go to is amazing. The second one is, like, like, in my head, I pictured the first, like, safe room as, like, the Buc-ee's. Like, it's a Buc-ee's style. Like, it's got all the amenities. And then the second safe room they go to, I picture
it's like the Texaco?
Like, yes, or like the sketchy gas station that has 2 pumps, one on each side, and then
outside bathrooms.
Outside bathrooms, and the guy that has to turn on the pump is standing like chewing on something that ain't there. Like, and then it's like there's no cold drinks. You've got a pack of peanuts, and then you figure out that other people can be in the safe rooms with you at the same time.
Right, and that's where we meet the couple, Frank, Q, and Maggie. That was wild, because, you know, they wake up in the safe room after they've slept, and they run into this guy, and Donut's immediately, like, talking, trying to figure out, and Carl picks up on that he's sketchy and lying.
Yeah.
And, you know, they get out of that exchange. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. You know, just like how he was going. And we're kind of in Carl's head, too. So we're like, okay, he's definitely suspicious.
we get the chats back and forth. So in the background, you can chat other people who are in your
Mm-hmm.
party. So Donut and Carl are sending messages back and forth to each other on their syndicate boards, and it's like Donut types always in all caps, and she's
Yes.
like, I don't know what we should do, Carl. And Carl's like, God damn it, Donut, just listen for 1 second. When I say run, run. Because then we figure out you can't commit acts of violence against each other in the safe rooms. Otherwise,
it like freezes you.
Stops. Yep.
Yeah. But also it notes there too, because Carl quickly figured out how to type, like mentally type in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And it notes that, like, this Frank guy was, like, moving his fingers, like, having to physically type, per se. But they leave them, they place a bomb outside, hoping they'll find it. Because as you kill enemies and sometimes other crawlers and things like that, you can loot their bodies, which is a video game thing. People drop loot, you pick it up, you need it, is what it is. But then they take off running and all this stuff, and we find out later that some other rough things went down after that exchange. But
yeah,
that's when they first also encounter their first dead crawler.
Yes.
And they find out that Frank or Maggie, one of them, had actually killed her and all this stuff. Like, it was a weird exchange, and it's like, oh, y'all were lying about this and about that and everything running. It's just, I love it when they end up on the game show. When they first meet Audette.
The game show. Audette is amazing. Scariest thing to picture in my whole mind. And then I looked up what she looked like, and I was even more afraid. Because I was like, a half lobster crab thing with a fishbowl head, but wearing like...
And giant boobs.
Giant boobs. And they even described them as like, not even like good giant boobs, like horribly saggy, terrible giant boobs. And I'm like, and in the middle of this, I'm sitting here going, what am I reading? Like, what am I reading? Like, what is this?
Yes.
I was like, what is this? And then as I'm reading it more, I was like, this is okay, but this is definitely written by a man.
But it was just funny, like, Audette is the game show host, or the show host on this one. Yeah. She's talking, Donut's eating it up. Carl's like, I don't want to be here. Like, I have zero things to say about this.
He's definitely the introvert.
He's just like, I don't want to be here. This is, no. Hard pass. Do not put me on television. But I love it at the end.
Don't talk. I got this,
she's
Carl,
like, let me do all the talking. But she does.
Kitty.
She like immediately knows how to work the audience, though.
She does.
Which is really entertaining, especially on the second game or show they go on. When
the second show. So anytime you go on a show, you have to complete the first complete a level. So they go on Audette's show after the first level, and then they go on this other show because the syndicate gives them like a PR manager, and they send him on another show that's not Audette's, and it's like, I don't know any other way to describe it other than like an incel-y kind of show, where it's like a whole bunch of, I don't know, it's like almost people who like hate watch a show, and they do like, they capture crawlers and put them in super awkward situations where it's like, you can either live or die, and we're going to send you back. And Carl is not about that. He does not take lightly to people like bullying other people, which is clearly what the incels that run the show are, who are like hogs. They're like, I picture Pumbaa in a motorcycle jacket. Like,
because with the tusk and everything is what yes.
That's what I picture. And like Carl's like, tells Donut, she's like, I'm gonna take this one. Carl's like, I got this one. And he picks a fight with the main guy. It's just good. It's just the part of it, you kind of forget that you're in a game and that this is reality TV for another species on the planet. It's wild.
It's also cool because we get Carl's thoughts, and very quickly we realize that he did not have a good childhood. Like, at all. Like, his mom left, his dad was a piece of crap. Like, he was on his own a lot. Like, we get it gets deep later, but, like, we know he had a rough childhood, and he does not like bullies. He's a very quickly, like, no.
Yeah, you're not gonna bully me.
But that's where they come back in contact with Frank, Q, and Maggie and realize that Carl's bomb unfortunately killed their daughter.
Yeah, that
well, it
rough.
did and it didn't. It set it up for her, and Maggie killed her because they didn't know she was going to heal. And I'm like, that whole exchange, I was like, oh, jeez.
That was rough to read.
That was rough to read, but Carl's like, you know what? It was your own fault. Like,
it was.
It really was. And they get back off of that show. The funny thing was, before they ended up on that show, one of the announcements was like, people have to use the bathrooms and not like pee outside.
Oh my God, yes.
And apparently it was a problem. And so we will be sending this like elemental after you. And this poor little old man from the senior center starts pee. But this is where Zev gets in trouble, their PR manager, because she warns them, like, get out of there. So she gets put in like timeout.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But that was a crazy exchange because, you know, they lost the old man. One of the nurses gets killed, you know, and just like, that's when you start really like, oh, they really do not care about the humans in this dungeon crawl.
They don't. And like, part of me wonders, like, why were they so upset about people peeing in the hallway? Like, what about that made them so upset? Because they never elaborate. Like, Mordecai, like, every night on the little Hunger Games repeat, they're like, once again, please don't pee in the hallway. And it's like,
well, and they're like, and now, yeah, and they're like, oh, and we're only putting one roll of toilet paper in there, so good luck. It's like, very random things. But I'm like, who was hoarding toilet paper like in 2020? Like, what is happening here?
Why would we do that?
But it's true, like, you know, something was happening like that. But this also where we start getting those nuggets of things where they start interacting with more of the NPCs.
Yes.
And stuff throughout the game. And some of them are, if they're a red dot, they're technically violent and an enemy. But you can turn them white to a white dot where they're friendly. Like, you start getting other interactions with some of them. Carl's like, what are they talking about? Trying to move on to the next floor. Like, he starts really just questioning everything, which sets up for some amazing things further in the series.
It's so good. They did such a great job setting up this book for you to be hooked in, because it's a whole world that you have to follow, and there's so many, and they do a good job like breaking down like the good guys, the bad guys. We find out like later on with the Meadowlark people that there's a homeless woman that goes down with them whose name is Agatha, and when they descend from the
very attached to her shopping cart.
She is, and that heifer is like, you're gonna give me, and she's like, dang it, give me back my stuff, and literally like will hit Carl over and over and over again, and he's like, damn it, Agatha, I gotta have this.
I love it when they're in the boss battle together. She's like, you took my shopping cart. He's like, I need it. I'll give it back.
Give it back, Agatha. But then it's like, Agatha is kind of, there's a lot of foreshadowing for the next books. Agatha is, and this is fun because I haven't read any of them. So I've read the first one, and that's fun. But Agatha, we find out at almost the very end of the book that there are more than one alien races determining which worlds to take over, and there's like more than one alien world is being conquered, and she is a different race, or possibly she's affiliated with a different race of aliens than the I forget what the main one's called off the top of my head.
Like the Syndicate. Oh no, I just got them mixed up.
I know.
Anyway,
it's like,
we also find out early on they started this crawl early for financial reasons.
Yes.
Like there's another group of people trying to take over, but the other company knew if they could start the crawl early, they would make enough money off of it to like keep control or whatever. I know it's Borant, but I can't think of the other one.
Borant, and it starts with a V. I'm looking it up right now. But we know that she is not part of the Borant system, and she asked Odette, who is this? It's like, what? And she, Odette, she's like, Where did you hear that name? Don't let the
Mm-hmm.
people, because at the end of the show, you get an episode, like a few minutes where it's not on cameras and the Borant company is not completely watching you. So Audette gets to explain some things to Carl and Donut.
Yeah. So we
And
also
she's like,
find out Odette and Mordecai have a connection.
they do. And she
And
was
it's not
actually
nice.
his.
It's not great.
No,
Like-
she was his person. She was his person.
Yeah.
Like his, like Mordecai is Carl's person, like his guide, his mentor throughout the crawl, and Audette was Mordecai's. So there's a lot of levels of stuff. There's a lot of stuff set up to be broken down in the future. There's a lot of awesome things. There's a lot of awesome moments. Anytime you have a computer system that's like new achievement, and it's like, you like to smush things with your feet, don't you? The Syndicate has a foot fetish. It is
The AI has a
hysterical.
big foot fetish. Quickly we learned that, and Carl will never get shoes
He will
on
never get
this
shoes.
crawl. Like at
No.
least the first few levels, no shoes for Carl happen.
There are no shoes for Carl.
So,
It's like to the point where he gets a pedicure kit, and if he takes care of his feet every night, he has stronger abilities the next day, which is hysterical. It is so funny. It's so much fun.
also levels up like his smush ability a lot faster. There's some
He
really
does.
funny things that happen. Another thing that struck me really entertaining where Carl and Donut go to the goblins trying to negotiate to like get the
Yes,
motorcycle
so
bill and
funny.
all that. When they're called Lorelai and Rory, I'm like, yes! It was so funny. I was like, just those random references to things were so
Yes.
good.
Yes, it is. It's so good, and like it's like the goblins are addicted to meth, and it's like, where did you get this meth from? And it's like, Carl is like, why do you want it? Like, gross.
Yeah. I love how it's actually like moonshine is like everybody wants it. Like
Yes.
it makes like the
Like,
best
this is-
explosions. I'm like, I bet it does.
I bet sure it does. I just
It was
like,
just so entertaining. Like I was thoroughly entertained throughout this whole
Mhm.
thing. And any new listeners to us know I've either take forever to read a series or I binge it like crazily fast. This was one I could not read anything else until I finished what was out with it.
this is true. Every time I be like, what are you reading? You're like, well, I'm on book 5 of Dungeon, and I'm like, a 5?
Oh, I can't do it. I'm like, I can't listen to anything else. Like, it took up my entire, like, it was supposed to be like, ooh, I'll read book 1 and take a break, and then I'll hop back into it. And I was like, no, the other series just has to get put on hold until I finish
Yep, that's
this
just
one.
what it is.
'Cause
It has to be. Is it Vandal? I'm so upset that I can't remember the other alien race that's in Dungeon Crawler Carl. Like, I'm so, like, to the point where I have to look it up. Vandalay? I think it's Vandalay. Vandalians? Something.
I
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
Vandalay, which is
Some of 'em-
hilarious. Because
yeah.
Vandalay is a play on, because there's a lot of pop culture references in the Lorelai and the Rory. Vandalay is a reference off of Seinfeld from George Costanza. He creates Vandalay
yeah.
Industries, which is a fake company where he creates the human fund so George
That's
can
right.
just get all this money for free. And I thought that was hilarious. I was like, Vandalay Industries? You're going to say the other Ace is like, so I'm like, is that a level to the dungeon we don't know? We'll find out. We'll find out as we
Yeah.
read.
It's great. And then we also find out once they get off of level 2 and they get ready to start level 3, they get to pick like classes and stuff. This is where things really start getting good. And that's where Donut is like, Donut's been trying to convince Carl to like be a cat race, and he's like, no.
He's like, no, I'm not going to be a cat.
But we get a lot of good information from Odette, though, because she gives them kind of on the sly, like, hey, here's some things you should pick. She also gives them a very important detail of information that is big in book 2 on what they should do.
Right,
if it's
and
an
I
option. She's very much
I
like, if
keep-
it's an option, y'all should take it.
I'm like, she said, and that's kind of how the book ends. It's like, this option. And she almost, and I love that, like, the author makes a point to say that Audette looks sad. Like, she looks sad as she mentioned this, that there is an option for someone who has a super high level of charisma, which is Donut, for her to change a race into something else, but it's going to piss someone off really bad. And I was like, what does it mean? And I still don't know what it means, because after I finished it, I read like 4 different books, and I'm fixing to leave to go on vacation, and I can't pick up the next one yet because I want to just sit and binge it all the way through.
Just make everybody listen to Carl's doomsday scenario on the way to the beach. Just make your whole family listen to it.
I would love to do that, but Austin Bryant would have a meltdown. I don't think he could handle a book being read for 8 hours straight.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just saying. I think it would be great.
I think it would be great. I think we should. I'm like, let's do it.
But this book was so fun. There's so many funny catchphrases and one-liners throughout it. I love it when, like, Carl, your catchphrase, he's like, I don't have a catchphrase. That's where this is GD Donut. And he's like, oh my gosh. Like, then he's so aware that he says it so much that he's like, don't make me say it.
Here we go again.
It's also start learning out that, like, the syndicate can see your messages, and, like, the only privacy you have is in the bathroom.
That's it.
Like, okay.
I can't wait to see more, because they keep referencing that there are rooms in, like, in the safe rooms, that there are, like, rooms you can personalize, which makes me think it's kind of like on video games where you go and you, like, sleep and reset for the day. I'm like, they're going to get a personalized room. I can't wait for them to do it.
It made me think of Sims, where you, like, build your house. Yes. That's what it made me think of. Yes. So, it was really good.
It was good. It was a good
book.
It was Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. No, go.
It was like, this was something that was so totally out of the genres that I have ever read before. But it's opened the door, and I really enjoyed it.
I was unaware that lit RPG was a genre of books.
Right.
Somehow it popped up on my TikTok. Someone was like, oh, I just read this book. I was like, what is that? Post-apocalyptic world. Sure, aliens sounds like a fun time. And I was like, oh, this was a really fun time. Like,
it was really good.
I've seen a lot of people on various social who don't typically read too much in the fantasy genre have enjoyed this book, because I think it's just a fun change. Matt Dinniman does an excellent job, and since then I have added other lit RPGs to my list of books I want to read. I have read another one, or I've been listening to it. Really, really enjoyed it. But I do have some questions for you as we wrap up this discussion. Would you stay topside or enter the dungeon?
Dungeon, for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely would enter the dungeon, because
absolutely.
But part of me really wonders why they're so gung-ho on getting you into the dungeon, and, like, why do you have to go in? Like, what's going on the surface that they don't want you to see? So part of me wants to stay on the surface, but part of me is like, no, I would go in the dungeon, because if I think that's like, because in that moment, you're in such an adrenaline rush of, I can't believe I'm still alive, and this is how I stay alive next. Like, your natural human nature is to choose the path of life. So later on in the books, I'd be like, no, I'm going to the surface. But first initial, I'm going down the dungeon.
Yeah, I would too, because I would like, okay, I feel like, because I'm like, okay, if it was me and Daniel and whatever, we have a better chance of survival, I feel like, if we went in the dungeon than trying to stay on the surface, like, the way it presented to us and stuff. But it's really fun to think about.
Yes.
And here's what I think you'll like. Is Donut's fame chasing selfish or strategic?
Strategic, for sure. Strategic. But, like, also, I have cats. And cats are assholes. Everyone knows that they are. They don't mean to. Cats have... But here's, like, it's just what it is. Cats are assholes. But they are very loyal to the people that they choose. Like, I like dogs. I like cats. I'm not necessarily one of those people who I like animals, period. A groundhog, oh my god, I'm just in love.
Oh my gosh.
But like cats, you have to build a relationship with a cat for them to you to earn their trust. So Donut has a relationship with Carl, and her prince like she is Princess Donut. That is who she is to her core. And I think it's totally strategic for her to be like this because we see little glimpses of her having a lot of self-doubt that we can't that's not expressed, and it's totally strategic. It's totally strategic.
Yeah. I know your answer, but I'm going to ask it just for the sake of the podcast, just because curious to other people. Would you have stayed with Donut or split up?
Oh no, Donut and I are a team.
I know exactly.
To the point where, okay, so this is like, we have cats. We have a rule. We have a hard 4 animals at a time rule. We don't go over 4 animals. Like, that's when my husband and I got married. We toyed about getting another animal. We have 4 cats, by the way, which I am aware is completely psychotic. I know that that's crazy. But we decided early on that 4 is the max. The next pet is Princess Donut. That is her name. We already have, like, Princess Donut and I, we are one. I love her so much.
I would have stayed with her too. Because I'm like, if I'd ended up in the dungeon with my pet, like me and Ginger, I would have left her. Not at all. But I knew your answer because very quickly into you reading this book, you text me, the cat survives, right? Like, you were like very much like, I need to know if the cat lives.
To the point where, and like, this can be a spoiler for everyone, I made sure that Princess Donut was on the cover of every book before I decided to read this, because if anything happens to this cat, I will not finish the series. I have no qualms about it. It will be shut, and I will pretend it didn't happen. And Princess Donut and Carl are together, and everything is fine. So I was like,
the series just ends whatever book. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to end right there if anything happens to Donut. Anything. Oh, we didn't even get to talk about Donut's pet she gets at the end of the book. Donut gets a velociraptor.
I love it that nobody, like, the way it's described, I'm like picturing the compies is what I'm picturing. You know, like, you can tell my children like dinosaurs, but I'm picturing a little compy, which is like a little velociraptor looking dinosaur that keeps describing it. And then it's like, oh, like a real velociraptor. Like, this is going to be great.
Yes, and that's Donut's pet, Mongo. And honest to God, I was like, in reading, and I haven't spoiled this one for myself yet, because I am a book spoiler for myself, because if I'm going to get emotionally attached to all of these animals, I have to know if they live. I was like, if anything happens to Donut, if anything happens to Mongo, this little stupid velociraptor, because all he does is bite Donut and growl all the time. If anything happens to them, it will be like instant book shut. I'm not reading anymore.
It was also, I was like, oh, where there's like, you have to bond with him or he can't go down to the next level. And it was like, the level was getting close. I was like, oh no. I'm like, Mongo, you have to hurry up and be friends with Donut.
I was like, I'm in over here like crying. I'm going through this cycle of emotions. I'm like, if Mongo doesn't make it, I'm not going to read anymore.
Mongo is a fun character. He's a fun character
Mongo already
throughout the series. Yes.
Love him.
It's such a good thing. Do you have any predictions for Carl, Donut, and Mongo in book 2?
Hell no.
Any thoughts? Any thoughts on book 2 at all? Like,
no, because I have no idea what's happening. Because, like,
I love that.
I don't really read necessarily super slow, but I don't read super fast either. This book, I had to super concentrate on because I had never, I'm not a video gamer, so this was some kind of genre that didn't come like naturally to me to read. So I was like, what's happening? And like, and still to this day, like reading, getting ready, like prepare for this podcast, I still don't fully understand everything that happened in the boss battles. Because in my head it plays out like Super Smash Brothers. Like, that's what I picture a boss battle.
Essentially, that's kind of how it reads, is like that one, because you're going back and forth, you know,
Yes.
and you're having to
And
like watch the red. You gotta lose all the hearts or whatever.
I'm so stressed out during all the boss battles, and like, so I have no predictions on what happens. I have no idea what, like, I'm pretty sure that Carl stays human, and I'm pretty sure that Mongo stays a velociraptor, and I'm pretty sure Donut stays a cat, because like, even Odette is like, don't let her change to anything, but like, you have to keep her a cat to keep up your sponsors, to keep up your views, so you get stuff, so you will actually freaking survive this. So I'm pretty hopeful that Princess Donut stays a cat, because on the cover of every book it's Princess Donut as cat, and that makes me happy. So, but as far as anything else that goes, I have no idea. I have no idea what to expect.
I love it. I know when I finished book 1, I immediately downloaded book 2 and like just continued on. So it's like, we just continued the game, okay? You know, my new achievement was, you are not doing any of your adult responsibilities because you're listening to a book. Good job for you. You can read.
You can read.
That audio is so funny.
Right. It is so good. And at the end,
Dungeon AI is hilarious. And the AI controls a lot of the game.
Yes, it does. Which is wild.
Like, because a lot of other players are like, don't say that, because the AI won't give you anything like that. The AI will see if, like, he thinks you're gonna die, but he likes you, he'll save you. But if he thinks it'll be fun entertainment, he'll let you. I was like, oh, jeez. So good. I didn't have a lot of predictions in book 2. I just immediately jumped to it and was like, ooh, what's the next level look like? Were they picking classes and everything? That whole process is really cool. And I cannot wait for us to get there. But if you have stuck around for this podcast, I hope you have also enjoyed Dungeon Crawler Carl. Let us know in the likes and the comments what some of your thoughts were, some of your favorite things. If you had any fun predictions for book 2. We will dive into Doomsday Scenario at some point in the future.
We will. It's going to get read, and we're going to do it.
Absolutely. So as you go through here, please like, subscribe, review our podcast, all that fun stuff.
Ow,
and
God, my
thank you for listening.
Crap out of me. See, and that's